sort of areas of my body. And so I'm just wondering if maybe that if maybe I'm doing it wrong, or if I should be doing it a different way, or if it's just maybe my body sort of recalibrating itself.
Definitely. And something else is that your period is actually a little bit of a summary of your last 30 days. So sometimes if people have a really, I mean, depending on what and it's probably more a consultation-based thing or a longer conversation, but so many factors contribute to your bleed. And so depending on, you know, what's happened in the last cycle prior to bleeding, what's been different, what's been the same, and different factors, what season we're in, all those sorts of things can affect it as well. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Also, I read that sometimes you can have your period, but you don't actually ovulate, and you'll bleed heavier because you're not actually producing progesterone. So if you're lighter now, it might be because you're absorbing progesterone.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, that's wonderful news. I was speaking with my doctor, and so he's given me a pathology form to go and get done. So it'll be interesting to see the results in that. Yeah, thank you.
And do you have a functional medicine doctor?
I did go to see Anthea a little while back, and she advised that I go see Dr. Anna Story, who is an endocrinologist. She said pretty much everything was in range because I have high thyroid antibodies. And I think that was because of mold exposure, which we've now cleaned up, and stress, like high levels of stress as well. So I think with that, I was more high in estrogen, low in progesterone. My body wasn't carrying enough iron, so I was losing my hair. It's just been a wild ride. But yeah, I mean, these webinars are amazing. But I'm currently in school, and so I don't really have, you know, the finances to really go and spend a heap loads of money talking with, you know.
Yeah, well, I was going to suggest if you wanted to see one of the naturopaths in our community, they're a lot cheaper than the functional medicine practitioners, and I think can be just as knowledgeable. And they're set out in the member resources page in the business directory.
Thank you.
A second opinion.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think given it's 7:32, we're going to get started. We were just having a little chat. I'm just going to record this now. Hopefully that's recording, even though it didn't say so.
Still frozen?
Yes.
I hope so. Either that or she's got something very exciting. Kerry, do you just want to press record to the computer as well? And I'm recording. So then hopefully if anything goes awry, there's multiple copies. Are you co-host?
Me?
Yep.
Yes. Where do I?
I know they moved everything. Does everyone love the way that they move everything?
Seriously, don't get me started with what they've done. I can't find buttons and...
It's in more with the 3 dots.
Okay. Got it.
I actually like the look of the new interface, but I don't know where anything is yet.
Oh, that's beautiful, Sylvia.
Thank you. New buttons.
Okay. I've hit that too, so hopefully that's
Side note, while we're waiting for Sula to come back, my Zoom does things, even though it's turned off, like it does thumbs up when I do thumbs up and does, yeah, even though that setting's turned off.
Sula did say she had very precarious internet connection as well, so I think we've got to account for that.
Well,
Should we just a couple of minutes?
I'll just go personally.
Just go.
Press on. Yeah. All right. I'll share.
You share.
Now, tell me if this doesn't work. I'm a bit of a Zoom.
No,
learning all the balancing skills. There we go. How's that? Share. And then if I present. Yeah.
Yep.
How's that?
What does it say in the little box? I can't read it. The purple box?
Purple. Okay, got it. I don't know. So can you see now just the slides, or can you see my
No,
whole?
you might have to press the purple box.
What purple? This purple box.
Oh, it says on ours, it says audience window and then writing that's too small for me to read and something full screen, I think it says. Wow, that's really testing my eyesight in the purple box. Have you got a pop-up on your screen?
So I have a pop-up that says this window is just for you. Place it on the screen so you can see on your laptop. Got it.
You'll have two screens come up, Kerry. One will be for you, and then there's another, should be another screen, which is the audience screen, which is where you need to hit that box so we can see it.
Got it. Got you?
Yep, bingo. Yep, perfect.
Thank you, everyone.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Makes the dream work. Okay, so you can see that and you can't see the little box of all your faces, can you?
We can see everyone's face. Oh, I can see everyone's faces.
No, but over the thing.
Yeah, I can't see anyone's face except for the person that's speaking.
Okay.
Oh, you might have your
Fine.
setting on.
Oh, that might be your setting, Jen. Yeah.
Oh,
To
okay.
speaker view or something. Right.
Okay, go.
Okay, let's go. So happy hormones. Thank you all for being here. Cress and I, with the generous contribution of Esther's wisdom as well, have popped this together for you this evening. We hope to teach you something maybe that you didn't know, help you evaluate whether you have happy hormones, and just engage in a nice evening of light learning and sistership together. So the general outline, but rules are made to be broken. We're going to breathe in a moment because that's really important to balancing hormones, and I can speak more about that. We'll talk about what hormones are and assessing how our own hormones, whether we know if they're happy or not, how do we tell, touch on different stages of life and some simple solutions to help balance your hormones, and then we'll have questions and comments at the end because we really love interaction and we learn best from each other as well. So yeah, so if you feel free to chat during the or put questions in the chat or whatever. I can't see it, but I'm sure someone's across that.
I've got the chat.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to breathe. If you are an oiler, grab an oil. If you're not, doesn't matter, because doesn't matter. You can breathe with oils or without oils. What we're going to run through, so I have done my Vedic breathwork practitioner training, and breathwork is so important to every single facet of our being, but this particular one, Nadi Shodhana or alternate nostril breath, is actually really supportive to balancing not only the mental state but the hormones, because you're using both sides of the brain, and because generally we're one or the other side dominant, so to be able to balance both is really good. And you might find one side a little bit more tricky than the other. Don't worry about that. If you can, 7 to 10 rounds of this every day, and I wouldn't tell you to do something I don't do. I actually do that every morning before I meditate. So just putting it out there as an option for you all. So grab your oil if you have it, activate it in your hand, take a couple of nice deep breaths and just center into the space. And what I'm going to get you to do is, okay, left and rights are always entertaining for me. So grab your right hand, close your eyes if you feel comfortable to, or don't if you don't want to. And you'll get your index finger and your middle finger and sit them in your third eye space. Now, to find that, if you don't know, just slide your fingers up and down your forehead and a little bit to the left and the right, and they will actually settle in a little divot there. Now, before we do anything, what I want you to do is we're going to do 3 deep breaths in. So in through the nose, take that breath right to the base of your belly and power it out heavily and strong. And again, in through the nose and hala the breath out. And once more in through the nose and hala the breath out. Now, I want you to use your thumb to gently close your right nostril and take a nice, gentle breath in through the left nostril. Track that breath up through the third eye space behind where the fingers are sitting and trace it around the right side of the brain. Close the left nostril gently with the ring finger and then feel that breath go over, across the third eye and around to the left side of the brain. Open right nostril and gently exhale. And then in through the right nostril, past the third eye, light up the left side of the brain, cross the middle and to the right side of the brain, close right nostril, open left nostril, exhale. Gently in through the left nostril, third eye, right brain, gently close nostril, cross to left brain, third eye, exhale. In through the right, third eye, track around left brain, cross the center, right brain, exhale. In through left nostril, center, right, center, left, open right nostril, exhale. In through the right, center, take it around the left brain, cross the center, right, exhale. Hopefully you've got the gist now. Just do a couple in your own time. And just complete the one you're doing. Let your hands drop to your lap when you're done. And just take a gentle breath in through the nose. Feel that space you've created. And out through the nose. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. How was that? Has anyone done that before? Can't really see all, but anyway. Hopefully it's just a really beautiful, the breath is such an easy, simple, you always have it with you way to come back to the present. And, you know, whether you're busy, quiet, flat out, not, it's something you can always tap into. Oh, amazing. Oh, that's really nice. I'm glad that you got to try something new. Too slow. That's okay, Jenny. And that comes with time. Obviously, you just do it at your own pace because we don't want anyone to run out of breath. So yeah, but that's a really nice mood balancing and also hormone balancing little one that you can have in your pocket. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce my beautiful friend, soul sister and partner in business, lots of business, Cress, who is presenting with me, and she can tell you a bit about all her magic tricks.
Sorely got it back. Hi, my name is Cressida. I am a natural skin glow alchemist. So I'm the founder of a natural skincare brand called Stripey Horse Skin. And I'm also the creator of a blueprint called the Luminosity Blueprint, where I teach you how to get your skin glowing and keep it that way using all the tools. So to go from dull to radiant. Thanks, Kerry. Also, I was just going to say that we talk a lot, and so we kind of bounce off each other, and hopefully I won't talk too quickly. But please ask questions, because it's really it's hard to cover a talk that does like the whole range of things without some questions. So jump in there, don't be shy. Yeah, that's it.
It's a broad topic, so we've done our best to touch on lots of things, and yeah, there'll probably be questions of things that we don't cover, and that's okay. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kerry. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm an Ayurveda teacher and an Ayurveda wellness consultant. I've done Vedic breathwork training, and I've also done quite a lot of, 20 odd years in the medical system. So my science background is very strong, and I'm always very curious, but I'm really on a mission to help people take their health into their own hands. And, there's so much we can do at home ourselves before we sort of seek advice of others. Having said that, I'm not a doctor. So obviously this is not medical information, and you can always speak with your health professionals about any concerns that you might have.
Sorry, I can't help but laugh because honestly, I think that we should all be responsible for our own health, and trying things yourself, unless you have some serious medical problems with oils, is usually pretty safe as well. Sorry, don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing at you. I'm more about the concern. The crazy things that I've done, maybe not crazy things that I've done with oils over the years, and I've been using them for 19 years, still here. Daula's back, her internet died. She's joined on the phone. So
amazing.
I'm so sorry. Terrible timing.
All good.
I can talk you through your alternate nostril breathing at the end, so. Okay, so happy hormones. I guess the basics to start with are, what are hormones? They're chemical messengers within the body, and they play a large part in everything we do every day and all of our systems, and their impact goes far and wide, and as far as changing the way we think and act on a daily basis. So they're part of every system in our body. Lots of people go hormones and just go straight to puberty, ovaries, testes, whatever, but we also have the thyroid, the pineal and the pituitary in the brain, the adrenal glands above the kidneys, the pancreas for insulin, and as well as the sex hormones. So there's,
And we need them to work in concert, right?
Correct.
They've got to be in balance, and that can be a little bit different for everybody and at different ages of our life and different stages.
Yes. And also so much as the seasons we're in and the seasons of the day and all those sorts of things are impacted by hormones. So for happy hormones, how do we know if they are working well? Well, generally we're fit, healthy, and everything that can be sort of humdings along nicely. So by that, I mean, how are you feeling on a daily basis? Do you wake up energized and excited for the day? Are your detox pathways good? Do you have a good bowel movement every day? Do you have good digestion? Do you have beautiful radiant skin? Do you have a regular cycle for menstruating females? How's your mental health? Do you feel depressed, anxious? Are you calm of mind? All those sorts of things. Pre-bleed, do you feel any symptoms? Everything. What have I missed, Cress?
Can I just jump in there? I often, when I'm doing one-to-one sessions with people, I can be S's and tripping us both up tonight. Must be that breathing. And I ask people if they've got any symptoms with their cycle, and they say, "Oh, no, none at all. Maybe I need a hot water bottle." And I'm like, "Well, is it painful?" And they're like, "Oh, no, just I need it for comfort." And then it comes out later that their breasts really hurt, or they want to kill their partner during that period of time. Guys, that's not normal. So what is normal is feeling a little bit more like you want to be a little bit softer and more nourishing with yourself. So maybe having a stronger boundary, which sometimes can come out as give me a little bit of space. That's normal, but pain is not normal. So sore breasts is often a vitamin B deficiency, but also, all the balance of things. But just to know that really your bleed should just start, and you're like, "Oh, wow, I'm bleeding." And then it should just finish.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny you say that. A little personal story. When I was studying Ayurveda, we did lots of experiments of different things on ourselves to try and see how it impacted us. And I thought I had a really regular and symptom-free cycle. And then we learn about the power of ginger tea. So just a slice of ginger in hot water and sipping on that through the day. And the cycle following that one, I was like, whoa, I didn't think I had symptoms, and now I have even less. So yeah, it's pretty cool how effortless it can be, really.
And I've actually used ginger oil for that. So ginger oil is really good for flow. If we think it's kind of heat inducing.
Beautiful. And that was just a little aware and empowered people can achieve so much. So with knowledge comes power, and with awareness comes choice. So what we were just going to touch on was different stages of life and things that come up. For pre-teens, some important points here that we think are worth noting in terms of hormone development. Obviously, strong foundations are the best to build great health from. So we're all, probably most of us, I think, have been around here for a little while. So we know about Sula's 8 foundations of health. And I think, you know, we don't need to go into that tonight because Sula speaks of it so regularly that it's part of our, you know, our daily knowledge. But having a really strong baseline, lots of nourishment, so nutrient-dense foods, nice filtered water, limit the toxins in the home. So what are you bringing into the house? We can't control the toxins in the world outside really very much, but we can definitely make our homes an upgraded haven of, you know, nourishment. So being diligent about what you're cleaning your home with, what you're putting in and on your body, healthy habits. So bringing the children up knowing about, you know, quieter evenings and being active and getting out in nature and all those sorts of things, reducing screens, being present, deep conversations, those sorts of things, I guess.
Can I jump in on Sylvia's comment there? So I get this a lot because I always get asked. So often girls will start to get, or teens will start to get some acne, a few pimples. Mostly anyone through our community doesn't have really terrible acne because they're usually already eating a whole foods based diet. And so despite the fact that the kids might go out with their friends and eat pizza, because there is a really important element to them being in alignment with their friends as well. And I think we have to let go to a certain extent, as much as it's hard as parents, is that what happens is when their hormones start changing and shifting, I'm going to stop reading Sylvia's comments. Sorry, when the hormones start shifting, it actually creates things like really smelly armpits. And so what will happen is that the bacteria that lives in the armpit will be eating the changed hormones. And when they have that really, really potent smell, that is a sign that they're having hormonal shifts. So there are different ways of doing that. Deodorant often is just not enough. Neither is soap. There's nothing wrong with natural deodorant and soap. There are things like sunning your armpits, doing a clay mask on their armpits, having a lot more greens in their diet. And then I get also, I can't possibly make them not wear stuff from Sephora or wherever. You know, it's not possible. It's too hard. Number one, don't tell yourself it's hard, but give them the raw hard facts. So kids these days are much smarter than we were, and information is a lot more accessible. So I suggest you sit down with them and you show them the studies that show what they do to them. And do you know what? Then let go, because we can't actually micromanage it. And if that boundary is too hard, they're just going to hide it from you. But you can say that's not allowed in our home. And so I have to say I am very lucky because my kids are really sensitive and they actually can't stand having chemical products on their skin. But I get often asked about it, how, you know, they can compete with their friends. There are some really beautiful brands that are clean that are available at Mecca. I'm not really so familiar with things at Sephora. It's going to cost you a lot more. but you buy them the really nice brand, it'll last forever, and you just let go and just let them have that. You know, what did you do when you were a teen? I can tell you it's probably worse than whatever they're putting on their face. They'll be fine. I was going to say with the lots of nature, because I know Kerry's really good at that. And I have been through a stage where I've been not really in alignment with my values. And I have been sitting down working a lot at a desk. And then because I wasn't finishing my work during the day, I would then go later at night, sit down and work at my desk. That is definitely not teaching my children how to be outside in nature. And so even though it's super hard, I have found that by stopping work earlier, I still have the same amount of stress on my to-do list. And that didn't know, you know what I mean? I still have the same to-do list and I never get to the end of it and it still feels stressful. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just never going to get to the end of the to-do list. We can put that in the chat later. But yeah, definitely try explaining to you. Be honest with your children about the concerns that you have. My husband was one of the hardest ones to turn around, but I told him that using spray deodorant would shrink his testicles. And get him man boobs, so he stopped immediately. I can recommend that as a tactic.
Tried and tested here too, worked a treat.
Do you want to go next? Next slide.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone has any questions about preteens while we're here, but otherwise we can address that later.
Oh, sorry, I think I was going to say that one thing about the men and the boys and the deodorant. So apparently it's a common thing that when they go on camp, that the boys all bring extra cans of Lynx and they lock the younger kids in the room and spray it so that they can't breathe, by the way, just so you know. So when your child comes home stinking, it's actually not their fault. Don't think that they've been doing stuff behind your back. My son was really quite, not say it too loud, but he was really distressed by it. And it was at the rowing championships thing. And it's like, he's like, how can I do well if they're keeping me awake and spraying this shit on me? So just know that kids do horrible stuff to each other, same as when we're at school. And they'll be okay, but just, a bit of love and support around that, and maybe some oils to support their liver when they get home. Yep. A death with Lynx. Well, I can imagine it's gross, but I think you need to explain what that is in the chat. Yeah, okay, good. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I can't see. Oh, sorry. So then moving from preteen, there's puberty and the menstrual cycle. So looking at supporting hormones through that stage, I think communication is really important with your children. And as Cress said, showing them facts about why we do and don't do different things. I think teaching our girls about their cycle. I know if I look back on my childhood compared to, my daughter, a book was thrown and that was pretty much it. It was sort of awkward everywhere. So it just wasn't really spoken about. And I went to boarding school, so I kind of just picked up things from the girls in the dorm and then whatever that magazine was, Dolly or whoever it was. So it's been really empowering for me to learn about the phase of the cycle and, bleeding versus the build-up, then the follicular stage. So estrogen rises and you get ready to, the uterine lining builds to get ready for implantation of an egg if it happens, ovulation, and then estrogen drops, progesterone picks up, and on we go. So I think, really, and as Cress said, girls these days have a lot more information available to them. So likely they maybe have a bit more of a clue, but we have a lot of lengthy discussions with a lot of questions about lots of things. Just keep a really open door policy on questions and communication around it. And I think, once again, knowledge is so empowering. So, and also teaching children about what is a healthy cycle so that they know what to look for. The boys as well, like it's, it happens to every woman. So I think it's nice to let the boys in on the conversation as well. And as females, I think we're all females on the call, are we? Just modeling your own healthy habits. So, welcoming in the rest when you've hit your bleed and you're feeling like going inwards, and modeling that to your family, and, you know, having that open communication. It's that time, I'm just going to chill, or I'm going to have a bath, or I'm going to go to bed early, and, you know, practice what you preach, I guess. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it all night. Lots of nature. We are nature. We are a microcosm in the macrocosm, and it helps bring us back to balance. So, you know, if you're prone to lots of, I won't go on too much of an Ayurvedic rant, but if you're prone to lots of heating and heavy periods and things like that, and you have more skin issues, really bring in that cooling element. So get your feet on the earth, get in the bush, definitely balance your screen time and your green time. Another really cool practice is walking barefoot under the moon and gazing at the moon. And often if you gaze at the moon till your eyes water, one will water first, and that also helps balance things. So it's that lunar divine feminine energy there. Oh, correct. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I just hit a button and everything disappeared. Teens and skin. Did you speak about that, Chris? Acne and before?
Well, one thing I will say is please don't put oils on your face. Please don't put tea tree oil on pimples. It is a common one. They feel like they need to dry them out, but it actually increases the risk that you're going to have some pigmentation left afterwards, especially as we get older. You're much better off using something more gentle like Kunzia, but diluted, and lavender is lovely, but there is no need to, I guess probably my strongest recommendation is don't hammer your skin at any, like with anything, whether it's oils, whether they're natural, or whether it's something chemical. You just want to go gently. It's not the way to get the best result, because you'll just end up damaging your skin, which will take longer. And please, please, please try not to pick your skin, especially for teens. If you can teach them not to do that, that would be awesome. So if you want a specific like little breakdown on that, I'll see if I can con my 19-year-old daughter into doing it, because maybe they'll listen to her more than me. But picking your skin is just no good.
So rewarding.
What'd you say?
I said it's so rewarding.
No. Yeah, no picking.
But yeah, I find that when I can restrain myself from picking, it's a much better outcome.
Yeah.
What can you use tea tree for?
Tea tree? Well, number one, it smells delicious. It's great for fungal things. It's great for cleaning. It's good for a lot of things, but just not directly on spots on your skin. There was a study that came out a few years ago talking about it, so I can find it and bring it back for you. But yeah, just go with something more gentle and dilute.
And the other thing I had there was teens and toxins. So not just chemical toxins like, you know, your cleaners and all those sorts of things, but there's a saying in Ayurveda is that we digest everything. And so that is not just what we eat, but what we surround ourselves with, the company we keep, what we're watching, reading, all those sorts of things. So it's an ever present balancing act, I guess, but social media and, you know, that World Wide Web, just keeping on top of it as best you can, I guess, and you know, keeping the conversations going about online safety, and being aware of how much time you're spending, and minding that they're not going down the scroll hole, and having a good amount of screen time, like screen-free time once the sun goes down, to really let those cells regenerate. It's a challenge.
I was just going to respond, say there's a question about what is the best essential oil. I mean, essentially you want to find the root cause, which is what we want to do with everything. We know that Sula has shared her story often about natural vitamin A, which is cod liver oil and pate and all of the things. So if you can find the natural alternative and really make sure you're feeding your gut right, you're going to have less of an issue with skin. If we think about there is a natural element to getting some breakouts when we have hormonal shifts, but also knowing that that's your body also asking you to attend to your balance. So we will talk about some oils for keeping things in balance. But it's not a matter of just like smashing it, and drying it out is not really, it's not the thing. Even for scars these days, they're saying to keep them moist. So really just looking at using something quite dilute. I actually love olive oil and a bit of lavender on a pimple. You get the richness of the olive oil because it's really nourishing for the skin. And then the lavender is very gently antibacterial, all the things that we're not supposed to say, but it is. And so that's a good way. If you're allergic to lavender, which I know there are a few people in our community who have severe lavender allergies, then what was that one? Kunzia. I love Kunzia. It's actually an Australian native. It's related to tea tree. It's more gentle than tea tree. It is divine. That blue cypress. There's so many. I mean, essentially, you can't really go wrong. You don't want a heating oil though. I put cassia on my hands today and then by accident touched my face. I was red on one side of the face for a few hours afterwards. So be mindful.
Another little side note for solid breakouts for teens that are a little bit more than just the hormonal sort of ones is that the teenage years and the reproductive sort of time from 16 to sort of 50 is the pitta stage of life in Ayurveda. So that is the pitta is fire and water, so it's heat. And often if we're too hot on the inside, pitta women can bleed each month and release the heat. Pitta men often go bald because they can't release it like we do. And the heat in their body burns the hair off the top of their head. So just really tapping into the cooling things again. So less, still eat meat, but just less red meat or really well cooked red meat, and the red fruits and vegetables just dial back a little bit and increase greens, the cooling sort of colors, and get that, out into nature, feet on the grass, into, the ocean if you can. You can do the straw breath, which is quite cooling as well. And yeah, seed oils are shocking for acne as well because the body's just trying to really shoot those toxins out. So just lots of little hints and tips to think about there. Oops.
Sorry, I was just going to say also too, obviously with pimples or with our armpits and our kids wanting to use those deodorants or that stop sweating antiperspirants, is that we need our detoxification. Our skin is our largest detoxification organ. And so really making sure that things are operating functionally, working on your lymphatic system, which will go to oils that support what we could just say, grapefruit. There are others, but really making sure those things are all in balance. You will often find the children that want the things from like the big brand stores will be more likely to take things up if you explain to them how they work. So if you explain that doing dry body brushing with grapefruit oil on there will help their lymphatic system, will help them prevent cellulite, which of course is completely uncompliant to say that, but there's plenty of studies that show that by, putting oils under their tongue in the morning, using something like Juva Cleanse, that will help them, or Juva Flex will help them help their liver process their hormones as they're shifting and changing. And they have a lot of stress hormones, our teens. Like school is stressful. I personally would never go back to school. I hated it. And so we've got to remember that there is that aspect to it as well, is that they're under a great deal of stress and pressure. And sometimes they put themselves under pressure and sometimes it's pressure to fit in. So it's really like being, anyway, I don't want to go back there. So being a little bit mindful, but explaining to them how these things are tools that can help them, because otherwise they just think it's your weird natural thing. But you can explain that they have superpowers.
Yeah, so right, so wise. So obviously we are so blessed because we have Young Living as a support tool, and all the amazing products that they provide, from oils to, chemical-free, natural, cleaning products, personal care products, supplements to support our cellular health. And for anyone here who is not part of our Young Living community yet, this is a company that was born following man with a need to heal. Gary Young reversed his own ill health through the creation of supplements, and he found when he mixed essential oils, pure essential oils, with the supplements, they absorbed deeper into the tissues and the cells and had a greater effect. So he's now gone on, or went on from there, to create potent products that enable us to thrive. And you know, I know if you are not part of our community, you might say, well, there's many different oils. There are, but the essential oil industry is not regulated. So Young Living have on their own gone above and beyond to create pure essential oils in the bottle, even though it's not regulated that it has to be 100% oil. They do that. They own their own farms, or they have exclusive rights to partner farms, and they have what is called a seed to seal policy. So they use beyond organic farming practices, and from before the seed is planted in the soil, they maintain integrity of the soil, the environment, and then they oversee every process from planting that seed to distilling the oil from whatever plant they are using into the bottle, with rigorous testing and really gentle extraction and distillation. Can go into that more later, but that's sort of a brief summary now. And one of our members sent a little testimonial to our Facebook page recently. I've been using these oils for 6 years now and find their potency and quality is next to none. They're not adulterated with fillers, nor have they had their aroma changed with synthetic or natural additives. So it's pretty special that we have these at our fingertips.
We can also balance that with the fact that most of the products that you would buy in a, like, say, for instance, a cosmetic store are at least 3 years old by the time you purchase them. And also, can you imagine any of those companies putting in the amount of care that these guys do? So imagine it's like distilled love in a bottle. Definitely going to be better for you than something from Maybelline.
So how do we use all these amazing products? So obviously, we want to increase nourishment to support our hormone production and balance and decrease toxins. Nourishment in the form of, we have a beautiful product called Ningxia, Ningxia Red, which is the highest antioxidant food source on the planet, according to the ORAC scale. And antioxidants are really important because they mop up free radicals, which are rogue cells in the body that can turn nasty. So we want them mopped up and out. And they also make a beautiful line of supplements. And one of our favorites in terms of hormones is Mineral Essence. So it's got over 60 trace minerals. Because of modern day farming practices, the soils don't have the minerals they used to. So even if we're having a really nourishing diet with lots of, organic veg and pasture raised meat and things like that, you're not likely to get the mineral absorption you would have years ago. So Ningxia builds the blood. It's rich in iron. As I mentioned, it's the highest antioxidant food source, and it's really valuable as well for menstruation and, all sort of stages of the cycle. It's really supportive to balanced hormones and nourishing health. So, and we are so blessed to have so many beautiful single and blends of essential oils to support our cycles and balance our hormones. So I thought we would touch on the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus. So the brain hormone producing glands are recommended products that, are Young Living, as Chris mentioned before, with fish oil, a really good cod liver oil is good. Young Living have just changed their omegas to be omega greens, which is made from the algae that the fish eat. So they're trying to sort of nourish that way and do it in a green way. And it actually has really high EPA and DHA. Is that the other one? And lavender and frankincense are also really good for those brain organs. I've also put there, it's not Young Living, but it's nausea, and it's a medicated sesame oil. It's an Ayurvedic practice, and you just put the warm oil up your nose. I can talk to you more about that if that's of interest. For the thyroid, Young Living make a beautiful oil called Endoflex. And then in America, you can get a supplement called Thiamine. Is that, you've tried that, haven't you, Sula? And we can get that NFR. So we can order from the US, and there's a video in the members' resources about how you do that. Then the adrenal glands, which sit above the kidneys, they're really sensitive to stress and high cortisol, and we live in a lot faster paced world these days than we used to. So it's really important to nourish the adrenal glands. B vitamins, they love B vitamins, and Young Living has the master formula. Clove and nutmeg and energy oils can all be applied. So if you can't really see, but if you put your hands on your back just above your hips and turn them back towards you, that's about where your kidneys are. So if you dilute those oils and put them over that area, Endoflex as well, I quite often will just pop a bit on the thyroid and a bit on the adrenals, and the omega greens as well are really supportive there.
Just wanted to share one lady who actually, her husband is part of the community, and she's not really all in, but she was using Endoflex for 6 weeks and had to come off her thyroid medication.
Yeah.
I love Endoflex, and I use it intermittently. I use it when I feel like I need it. It's actually delicious tasting. So I put it in my water often, or on the back of my neck. And I use that more just when I feel like I need the extra support. But yeah, 6 weeks and completely off her thyroid meds. And she has the autoimmune thyroid disorder.
Mind-blowing stuff. It's so cool. And there's testimonials many like this with these products. It's so good. Sylvia, nausea is a medicated black sesame oil that you get from an Ayurveda person, and you just warm it up, and you can just put a drop, sniff, drop, sniff, drop, sniff either side, and then rub it around your face and massage behind the ears. And it works to nourish the brain. So oleate the brain, helps with just keeping everything moist, and supports pineal and pituitary gland health, as well as particularly for balancing hormones, and also for just brain health as we're aging.
Years. Sorry, Joanne, that's the answer to your question. Sorry. So actually, I will throw in there, even though I laughed earlier about the caveats, is that when you introduce these things, if you are taking a medication for something, be aware that you may experience changes in your body, and just really be mindful of that and monitor it. Okay, don't be just swigging stuff left and right like some of us do. That'd be me. And not noticing what's happening. You have to be aware of what you're doing, because you can't go to your doctor and ask them if it's fine, because they don't know. They don't understand.
Very true. Do you want to talk for a while, Chris?
You're like,
I feel like I haven't shut up.
We will give you some broad strokes on some oils that you can use. I'm going to also say is that I'm a massive fan of testing your hormones. And in fact, if you are a mother and you have young-ish adult children, so my daughter is 19, I would highly recommend getting the hormones tested at that age, because it is good to know for boys and girls, or men and women, whatever you want to call them these days, is that what their baseline is. So for instance, in my family, my mum got her period very late. So did I. I didn't get my period till I was 17. And she went through menopause in her early 40s. I am 50 next year, and I still have, even though I sometimes miss my periods, which is more related to stress, that I'm not ovulating, which someone spoke about earlier. Kerry did. But I am nowhere near menopause. So I know that because I test my hormones, and I personally am a massive fan of the Dutch hormone test. I do not think that a blood test or a saliva test gives you anywhere near as much information as long as you have a practitioner who is really trained to understand them. That is my personal belief. I can't say anything else. Doing the Dutch test at 2 points in my life have completely changed my life and my experience of having balanced hormones. I can talk to you about it later, Jenny. But it's just, it is, you can get it done in Australia. It's just, you just pee on paper. It's not hard. Anyway, Progestins Plus is, so a lot of people say all of us are deficient in or have not enough progesterone. It's not always true. So for me, I had too much progesterone when I first did the test. And so for me, I was having symptoms of insomnia. I was having night sweats, all of the things that look like estrogen dominance, and they weren't. So I feel like you can experiment and be really mindful of what you're doing. But I think to be guided by a really skilled practitioner is important if you're having, I guess, a range of difficulties. If you're just having some slightly painful periods or a bit of breast tenderness, something that's more minor, then I think that playing around with these things yourself is perfect. I mean, I think they're perfectly safe. But then again, I've been using the oils for 19 years. And so I feel very comfortable trying things. These are some of the ones that are really sort of more well-known. So Progestins Plus, previously, a lot of people were applying a roller and applying it on their, you've got to apply it on like the inner arm or inner thigh and move those areas around because the receptors get kind of full and don't recognize it anymore. I would explain or describe the feeling of applying Progestins Plus as soothing. And for me personally, I will only use it when I feel like I am guided to. So I have it sitting there. I have my hormone oils sitting there. And when I feel like I really want them, then I use them. And I'm not going to tell my broccoli story. If you guys haven't heard my broccoli story, I'm just not going to diss broccoli anymore. So clary sage is really great for, it's a hormone balancer. It's got natural sclereol, which is a phytoestrogen that mimics estrogen. And so it helps with menstrual cramps, PMS, circulatory problems. So it can be really balancing. Lady sclereol is a really beautiful perfume. It's quite good for feminine, making you feel more feminine is what I think what I was trying to say. Sclerescence, I personally don't apply topically. I take it orally. So I put it in a capsule. I find that it is I find that I get a better result for it if I take it in a capsule. And then what I write here, that it helps to raise estradiol and testosterone levels and bring those into balance. Things like Mister is really great for helping what I write here. So Mister is good for the teenage boys in our family. It's good for our adult men, but it's also good for women. It's actually really good if you're feeling cranky during your cycle to apply Mister, can help be balancing for that. It is I think it smells really nice. It's really good to use in the Vitaflex points. When our boys are going through those hormonal shifts and they can sometimes be a little bit get Mister onto them. It's really helpful for balancing them as well. But there are also, and I know you've got another page in here. Did I say Dragon Time? So Dragon Time is great for when you have pain. It's also really good to put it in, to use what's the shower gel one and put it in the bath if you have painful periods and you have like lower back pain or stress during that period of time. Having a bath in it can be amazing. Obviously, you don't have to use the bath gel, you can, but you can also just put oils in the bath. And that I find that can help if you get any kind of headaches with your period. Again, those things are related to what happened in the last month and not actually a sign of, like, that shouldn't be happening every month. I know we didn't talk about, are you gonna, is there another slide, Kes, or isn't it? Or no?
There's another one. It's a bit more
okay, we'll skip to that. That's okay. So just thinking about, so sage itself rather than clary sage is hormone regulating as well. It also is a gallbladder stimulant and helps with mental fatigue. So that can be really helpful with period as well, depending on how you go with it. Some people really hate the smell of clary sage. That would be me. but I love the smell of sage. So
Sage can be good for hot flushes too, I was reading today.
yeah. But also, ylang ylang. So it is helps to increase focus. It's really good. I use it for my dog for cardiac arrhythmia, which sometimes can happen to women when they get into their menopausal years, and I know we're not there yet. It's good for hypertension and depression and confidence and peace, but also it is a aphrodisiac oil, as is the blend Sensation. Do you have that there somewhere?
Sensation, I know I typed.
Anyway, yeah. So there are so many different ways to use the oils. I guess probably my thing would be key is understanding what your baseline is and then going from there. So rather than just applying and assuming that you are one thing, really trying to understand where it is that you are in your cycle and what needs help and support.
Yep.
Do you want to go pregnancy?
Sure. So pregnancy, obviously estrogen prepares the body to carry the baby by thickening the walls of the uterus, and then progesterone enables the fertilized egg to attach to the uterine wall and hold it there. I guess in terms of toxins, you really want to reduce your toxins pre-pregnancy and all the time, but it's really important pre-pregnancy and also during pregnancy. Most of us are probably aware, but for anyone who hasn't heard, studies have shown that the umbilical cord blood for a newborn baby can contain up to 200 chemicals. So that's a lot for a little baby to have to break down. So I think it's really important where you can to really reduce toxic load prior to pregnancy. Wearing and being exposed to perfume and fragrances can affect embryos, and the scientists in IVF labs actually aren't allowed to wear fragrances. So that's how sensitive and how potent they can be, I guess. And fragrances are found in perfumes, conventional beauty products, as well as cleaning products, scented candles, those stinky reed diffuser things, all that sort of thing. And so exposure to fragrance can be linked to so much hormone disruption, and also a reduction in egg and sperm quality. It can make your testicles shrink, give you man boobs, all those sorts of things.
Got to use the tools at your disposal, right?
That's all right. So the simple solution obviously is just to upgrade with these amazing high vibrational products. It's really, Young Living make it so simple to swap your personal care and cleaning products to just the Thieves range, and and abundance of oils to support different things in pregnancy. Now, you know, there are so many oils that can support different aspects of pregnancy. Everyone's pregnancy is different. So there's a list there of all different types. And I think, again, as Cress was saying before, you kind of work with where you're going. Some people don't like the smells of some things during pregnancy. Some people can't get enough of others. So it's a matter of, I guess just working it out what works for you, and
listen to your body.
Listen to your body. That's right.
Listen to your body. Don't just do what someone tells you. Like I was going to say too, is that a lot of women who have issues with, and I am definitely not prescribing this, but a lot of women who have issues with miscarriages are prescribed synthetic progesterone to hold the pregnancy. So even though I am absolutely not prescribing this, it would be interesting to have a think about what oils might support progesterone and whether that's something that you're comfortable with. Just saying, just putting it out there.
Yeah. And you mentioned before that Progessence was made from a wild yam. It's like a natural progesterone, didn't you?
Yep.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And the spearmint, helps to go anyway. Hormone balancer.
Menopause, we are blessed in our members' resources to have a whole presentation on menopause from one of our beautiful naturopaths. So this is really just surface level things, just to cover it. But I think it's really important to emphasize the magic of menopause, and really we get to change the narrative. I think a lot of, I know my parents' generation are all about how horrible it is and what a chore it is and all those sorts of things. And I think as feminine members of society, we are the creators, we're the nurturers, and we get to choose to transition to the wisdom years with, ease and grace and joy. And I think menopause is celebrated in so many cultures, and it's symptom-free for so many women, that I think spreading the word that this is a possibility for all of us, and really getting out there to help foster that high vibration transition rather than, such a drag. The basics are that your estrogen and progesterone levels drop, but nature loves equilibrium. So our body is actually designed to move through menopause. And if we try to, keep all our things in check and maintain balance, as they drop, the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone both increase. And so while it might be a little bit shaky as we're adjusting to the new levels, our body is designed to do that. We're lucky that we have the beautiful oils to support us if there is a bit of imbalance, and any symptoms that come up, see them as a gift. I mean, I know it can be unpleasant, but a symptom is really a gift, and it is an opportunity to inquire into what might be missing or out of balance a little bit, that might need a little bit more attention. So lots of things that come up regularly. I know that I used to hear people talking about as a teenager, people are getting angry and hot flushes and couldn't sleep and things like that. And something else I've learned over the years is that issues that aren't necessarily addressed during a woman's life will raise their head during menopause, during that transition, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual, and sort of dance around and say, I'm here, deal with me now. So again, just looking at ways to nourish yourself before, as soon as you know how and as often as you can, I guess. So the sooner we learn about all of the beautiful things that we are fortunate enough to know in this community as general knowledge, but if we can spread that to, women in society as well, about nourishing themselves, prioritizing rest and sleep and nourishment, good nutrition, filtered water, let them know about all these beautiful products, then hopefully we can really change the vibration around that transition. And, look at the symptom or the imbalance to work out how and what we need to adjust to move to a more balanced state. And I've whacked a couple of examples there. So if there's heat and anger and hot flushes and things like that, you look at what cools. So, nature, cooling foods, cooling oils, calming down, doing less, routine, rhythm, sleep. If there's depression and weight gain, you look at what lightens you up. So maybe it's fasting between meals, maybe it's a lighter meal at dinner, maybe it is a bit more movement to just get things sort of moving along, get the emotions moving through. Anxiety and sleep disturbance, that's sort of more of an aggravated state. So then you look at grounding practices. So coming back to rising, what time you get up, what time you go to bed, oils that ground you, breathing practices that ground you, look at meditation, yoga, nidra, things like that. And then, as Cress mentioned before, I think she mentioned, maybe I just was thinking it, as the estrogen and progesterone drop off, estrogen in particular, the immune system can become a little bit more vulnerable. We're so blessed with Young Living to have the starter bundle full of amazing oils that support the immune system, but there's also outside of that Immune Power and other supplements, Inner Defense, a good fish oil, or the omega greens, which are actually greens, and having vitamin C and zinc on hand as well.
Just good. Can I throw in one there about
Yes.
hot flushes? Peppermint oil, I've heard, is your best friend. I actually read a great article talking about the fact that you could use it, not just making a spray that you can keep in the fridge to spritz on, don't get it in your eyes, but the back of your neck or on your, on your body if you're really suffering from those, melting, sweating, hot flushes. but also putting a drop in a glass of water next to your bed. And if you wake up at nighttime with hot flushes and you can't sleep and you're all sweaty, having that drink before you go to bed. Also putting it under your feet at nighttime can just help with that cooling before you go to sleep. So I know that's a pretty common one. I remember seeing my mum all of a sudden like dripping in sweat, wanting to leave the room. And actually, I just wanted to say there are some really great books around. So this is Dr. Maritza Snyder, I don't even know how to say it, but it's the Essential Oils Menopause Solution. So, there are, and then also Betsy Bosom has the baby book.
No, I've got this one.
So there's some really great books around that can give you snap.
Lucy Libido says there's an oil for that. So it's all about libido, hormones, oils.
Oh, we didn't talk about libido. I've got one for that. So sulfazyme is really good for lowered libido. Tangerine, because it's a circulatory enhancer. And then we spoke about sensation for that as well. I know that we were asked a couple of questions about endo. So I was pulling up a few studies about frankincense. So there's a study saying frankincense ameliorates endometriosis via inducing apoptosis and reducing adhesion. So, and then there's another study about adenomyosis as well. So just knowing that there's lots of resources available, but you will need to do your own research into whether they, just have a look around. There's lots of stuff, or ask me because I'm addicted to books.
And just because while we're still on menopause, I know a lot of GPs talk about HRT and it comes up a lot in conversations. I think if you can steer, the body recognizes, we are part of nature, so we recognize things that are natural. I think obviously talk about it with your health practitioner, but I think my opinion on an HRT is that it's synthetic, so it may help in the short term, but it's essentially not recognized by the body, so it's going to have to be something that your body will need to break down at some point.
And the stats for cancer with that are not great.
Yeah. So just do your own research and be empowered with your decisions. Okay, so just there's a quick slide here on men. I'm not sure there are too many here, but just there are oils to support men as well. And there's a couple listed there. So goldenrod is really good for the bedroom, supports circulation, and you can just apply it to the lower abdomen, inner thighs. Ylang Cress spoke about it for women. It's also really amazing for men. It's just a beautiful oil to balance masculine and feminine. Mister, another balancing one, and it's really good for relaxation and mental clarity and calm. And Dorado Azul, I haven't used that one, but it is apparently really good for complementing all the other oils as well, and thyroid for men. So
actually, if anyone's got a desk reference guide, you should look up Dorado Azul. Yeah.
And I guess, most of you would know, but if you're not a member of our community, or if you're new and you haven't been to an onboarding yet, we have all of this information and so much more available to our community as resources. We value, obviously, knowledge and getting the most out of our Young Living products. So our aim is to make sure that you are so well supported on your journey with lots of information. So if you don't know about how to access that, just reach out to your wellness consultant and they will help you with the password and accessing it too.
Who's got questions?
Yeah, what do you got?
Anyone?
Chris, do you want to talk about how to, for those who aren't part of our community, how they go about coming into the fold?
Absolutely. So the best value is starting with a starter bundle. You can, no, not bioidentical. We were talking about HRT. Sorry, you said you missed something. What did you miss, Michelle?
You said something about looking up one of the oils in the
Dorado Azul.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a So, sorry, oyster couple. Some honestly, some of the ones that you don't even look at, like you read them and you go, wow, why am I not using that oil all the time? So essentially, it's great to start with a starter bundle. They're tailored to give you the most bang for your buck, because the whole goal was to get oils into the house. And so the cleaning bundle pretty much just gets rid of all the crap, and you can immediately start detoxing your entire home. Talk about the fact, which I think most people in this community understand already, is that our cleaning products, the things that we wash our clothes in, that goes straight into our oh my gosh, Kerry, what do you call those? Reproductive organs,
Yes.
because the skin down there is so thin. So one of the things I didn't mention was some of the really cool ways recommended to apply oils is actually on the Vitaflex points, but also using them, for instance, as a vaginal implant. So putting them on a tampon and inserting them, or also, for men, applying oils in the lower abdomen or between the scrotum and the rectum. So you're really looking at using those points where things can get into the skin much easier. I love to use oils in my armpits if I am looking to get them in easily. Some areas of our skin have almost 100%, what's it called?
Permeability.
Skin. Yep.
Ability.
So starting with the starter bundle is the easiest way, because there is pretty much there is an oil in there for everything. If you want to get a tailored product, it's best probably to speak to us and get one that's specific to your needs. But personally, I would do that as my second order, and I would get the starter bundle as the first one. So you feel free to reach out to us to ask us any questions on that.
And what about the gift of the free diffuser this month?
Yeah, free diffuser. Can you believe it? That's so cool.
Yeah. So with any 100-point purchase, any starter bundle or a 100-point customized order, you get a free diffuser, which is valued over $100, which is pretty crazy.
So generous.
Yeah.
So if you've got friends and family, if you're a seasoned user and you've got friends and family who you know will benefit, I think Young Living has something to benefit everybody. Worth having a chat to them this month. Or if you're on this call and you're not a member yet, it's your lucky day, because you could start with a starter bundle and get yourself a second diffuser, because honestly, once you start diffusing, you want them going in every room.
So Fleabane, sorry, just responding to a question in the chat there, but a comment. I don't know why you would delay puberty in any other way other than just being more natural. So I'm curious about that, Adriana. And then healthy age for teens to start period. Well, I guess that's probably going to be quite controversial. Personally, as I said, I was 17, so that's quite late. But I remember there was a girl at school who got her period when she was 8 years old, and that's very young. So we know that it's somewhere in the middle. I don't really want to prescribe an age, because it also depends on your family history and all the rest of it. So you're going to have a tendency to follow the women in the family, but also just being really mindful of, actually, there was something I really wanted to mention. It can be very normal for young girls to gain 10 kilos prior to getting their period. So if you see that's normal, absolutely normal, and actually triggers the start of their period. So just know that if you see your child getting softer, sometimes they can get very upset and concerned about that, but it can be just a really natural way to bring on enough body fat for them to be able to nourish a pregnancy, which is pretty scary when it's your child. But anyway, that's nature. So with skin changing with different ages, the way that I encourage people to choose skincare is based on what they're experiencing at the time. So for instance, everybody who's over 40 will choose something that's for mature skin. But if your skin is not dry at that period of time, you don't need something that's for mature skin. So really picking something that is related to what you're experiencing at that moment. If you have a flare-up of things like eczema, it's most likely related to gut. And also it can be really easy to overdo histamines if you're feeling stressed, and we can find it harder to manage stress when our hormones start to shift. So hopefully that answers that question. Deodorant, I'm Young Living all the way. Everybody in my entire family uses the Young Living deodorant, including my husband. A balance hormone. not exactly sure what that question is. Fleabane can increase growth hormone. Kids can start naturally growth. Fleabane's also a poison. So curious about that, but interesting. You know, the dose makes the poison. We know that. But I personally would be looking at like just balancing hormones from that kind of perspective. The new firming sandalwood cream is amazing. Use it everywhere and don't let your friends touch your container of it. That's my tip there.
Which YL deodorant do you use, Chris?
Any, and my husband is also an any. He doesn't care. He is allergic to a lot of deodorants. And also because I told him that they would shrink his ball sack. So, you know, it was a good win. I feel very happy about that. Why can't they touch it? Because Sylvia, it's yours.
Don't share it.
We were at a workshop at Sula's and she had it on the table and people were like pouring it all over them. And I'm like, that is precious. That's like gold. It is beautiful. I love the firming cream. It is divine. And I would definitely be keeping that from others in the house. So yeah, the deodorant, I just buy any of them actually, because often they go out of stock and nobody really has a preference here except for my 13-year-old who likes Valor because he likes the story of giving him strength. Were there any other questions?
Firming cream on your face.
Dude, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want your face to be firm? F yes. Yeah. Arms, thighs. I don't understand. It's only meant for there. That's not a thing.
It's just a guide. It's like
you've got skin everywhere. Anyone else wake up and like all of a sudden they go, hey, what happens to my neck and chest skin? So that happens. All the floppy bits and all the bits you don't want to be floppy, my friend. Plus get your gua sha and your facial cups out.
Sorry, what did you say, Chris?
Plus get your gua sha and facial cups out.
Oh, yeah. And if you need one of those, just reach out to Cress. She's stocked up with those.
Yeah.
So if you're here and you're not yet a Young Living member and you would like to be, definitely jump in and make the most of the free diffuser offer. Reach out to whoever connected you to the Zoom call tonight and they will happily help you get started.
Because don't go and sign yourself up on the Young Living website because you won't.
Yeah, that's right.
Be in our fold, and you want to be in our fold so that you can get access to our phenomenal online password protected resources. We call that the treasure trove, and this epic community and our one-on-one support. Yeah.
And you get to hang out with us and have fun.
That's right.
And for those, which the majority are Young Living members in our community, if you want that free diffuser, a little hack, sign your hubby up, or, you know, if you've got a child that's over 18 with, say, a Ningxia starter pack, because, you know, we drink Ningxia every day, right, as the world's highest antioxidant food source, and you get a free diffuser. So Ningxia starter bundle is amazing value, those 3 bottles and the box of sachets, which we're drinking anyway. And we've got
4 bottles
challenge this month. And then you get a free diffuser. So that's a little loophole, or not really a loophole, but it's a hack. Yeah.
Handy hint.
Yeah.
And also as part of our community, we have a beautiful practitioner and members page for people who offer their different skills to the community. So Cress has her Unique Skin Codes course, which I have just finished, and I think every person from the age of 12 onwards should do it. It's phenomenal. She offers one-to-one radiant skin healing sessions, which are also very amazing. And if you don't know, she has created her own stripy horse skin products. And I have to tell you, I'm in love with the sensitive night serum. It is like it's a spiritual upgrade every time you apply it. I just can't even tell you, like it's just like a hug for your cells. So if you haven't tried her serums, It's not just because I love her, it's because they're amazing. You really need to have a try of them. And
they're all infused with the Young Living oils, aren't they?
Yeah.
Chris? Yeah, only the best.
aren't we?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sylvia's just reminding us that she's doing the blood sugar webinar on the 6th of August. Okay, that seems soon.
It's an extra special one.
Right.
That's
And
reporting failures earlier this year.
oh, of course, yes, I recall. I'm just going to, and if you have not had Reiki or a raindrop with Kerry, you're like missing out. And I know Sula can speak to it because she had a great experience with distance Reiki over the weekend. But she's incredible practitioner and also available for Ayurveda as well. So get in there.
Kerry's amazing at raindrop. Yeah. Young Living's, Yara Young's special massage technique with the oils in a certain sequence for spinal alignment and just upgrading. Yeah.
Really balancing little technique, that one. And so just wanted to finish with knowledge is power, and with that and awareness comes choice. So listen to your body, trust your intuition, and know you're so powerful and capable of rich, abundant health. Relax, allow, and trust. All is working for you and your highest good. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. It's been really a pleasure to present this information.
I just wanted to thank Kerry and Cressida so much for a wonderful presentation. I feel so blessed to have these two powerhouse leaders in my community, especially when my internet went down and I was MIA for a while, and I just was like totally relaxed that they're just running it all, and that's great. And all this information we will put, of course, in the member resources page, which is ever growing, our epic treasure trove. There is already a whole section there on hormone health, but we'll also put this recording at the end of that section, as well as in the past recordings. So it'll be in 2 places for easy access. And there is just so much information in that member resources page in the EO 101 guide. So please do have a look at the hormone health section in the EO 101 guide if you want more. But that presentation was so informative, so amazing. And thank you to Esther as well, who works tirelessly behind the scenes for our community and is the silent achiever, the quiet achiever in the background, just so supportive and knowledgeable, wise woman energy just oozing out. So thank you very much, this beautiful community. Yes, we love you, Esther. Yeah. Anybody have any questions before we wrap up? Any more questions anyone wants to unmute?
If something comes up though, just pop a question in the Facebook page and we can answer it in there as well if you think of something later on.
Yeah, our closed Facebook page is a buzz with lots of activity, lots of questions, and it's such a beautiful, safe community to hang out in.
And it's cool too because you get different perspectives from what's worked for different people, which I think is really awesome.
Okay.
Oops.
Amazing.
I'm being called out here.
Yeah, I want to do your skin code course too. Yeah. Are you running them regularly, or is it an evergreen one, or
no, I'm only running it twice a year. The next round is in September, and I've got 2 people signed up so far, which is very exciting.
Sign me up for that too. Chase me, track me down.
Okay.
Yeah, please. Yep, sign me up. Amazing.
All righty.
Wow, you got so many people. There you go, Cress.
All right, peeps. Well, have a lovely evening. Everyone go and look after your sleep.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. That was beautiful. Little heart. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Everyone.